My name is Michael Brown, and I was in the United States Navy, and I graduated from CVCC in 2011. Both my parents were prior military. They were both in the Army, so that's why I went to the Navy. So pretty much everybody in my family tree at some point has been in the military, aunts, uncles, grandparents. So it was pretty much a no-brainer for me that I was gonna go into the military. I wanted to, just didn't know what branch. And then when I was in high school, I graduated in 1990, so I was in Operation Desert Storm. I've always loved the water. I've never been scared of water. I always swam all my life, and nobody had been in the Navy, I think, except for one uncle that I knew of, so I didn't want to be alone, so I went in. And then a lot of my guys from my friends from high school, they went to the Navy as well, so, and some went to the Army, but ended up going to the Navy. I went into a program when I was my senior year in high school, and it was a program that you got with the recruiter, and they helped you learn different things about how to march and things like that. And I went, took my ASFAB, and I graduated high school in June, and I went to the Navy in September. And I did my basic in Orlando, Florida. I was a little scared at first. You know, you hear different stories and things, but I guess growing up in a military home, you kind of pretty much already had the know-how what to expect. And my parents, I'm not gonna say they were super strict, but they made sure that I had good guidelines to follow. So the switch from high school to adulthood in the military, it was different. I was excited, and it was pretty smooth. It was a smooth transition. It really was. On the ASFAB, they take your score, and your score qualifies you to do a certain amount of jobs. You know what I'm saying? So I was a torpedoman in the Navy. I was a Tomahawk technician. So I messed with and built Tomahawk missiles. Yeah, it was interesting. Being a torpedoman in the Navy during war times was exciting. I hate to say that word, but it was exciting, but it was a lot of pressure as well. And you know, you think a lot, especially when you're that young. Desert Storm was it was a pretty scary time. It was interesting, but it was did a lot of praying, to say the least. But it was good. It was good. It was actually 91. And I had to fly overseas because I was stationed in La Maddalena, Italy. So I had to fly overseas, meet my ship, and pretty much I was on a subtender, so we loaded a lot of torpedoes and bombs on the submarines and let them do what they do best. I know this is really gonna sound cliche, but I was proud to be an American. Honestly, like, it was a really proud moment. It's kind of hard to explain and put into words because I've never been asked that question, but I was proud. I was proud of my country. I was proud of my service. I still am. It's a lot of things that happen that I think people don't understand that have never been in the military. Like when you're a child, when you put a child in a situation like that, you know, it's the after effects sometimes are devastating to some people because sometimes they never recover from a lot of things. Because, you know, you go from your parents' roof to a war. I mean, it's a big change. And You know, a lot of people have to end up seeking mental health issues. And I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, but I mean, you know, it's true. They train you well. Like I took electronics, I have certificates in electronics, different things like that that I got through the military that actually positioned my life after the military for things that I did. So the discipline, it taught me how to separate and compartmentalize different things, which I still do that to this day. You know, and I take things for what they're worth. Some things you can't change in life, so you have to learn to adapt to a situation, because the situation will never adapt to you. And that's one thing I did learn from being in Desert Storm. That, you know, no matter what your situation is, man, you have to make the best of it. Do what you need to do to come out of it on the other side. In 2000, I got out in 94, and in 2000, I woke up one day and I was blind. Still blind in my left eye. And they don't know, the doctors didn't know what it was. But from 2000 to 2005, I had pneumonia 7 times. And they still, nobody knew. And I was coughing up blood. They checked me for everything that you could check somebody for. And this is where my life really took a change. What seemed like a downfall to some people was a blessing for me. So after 5-6 years going back and forth to the hospital, they ended up sending me to Baptist Hospital. Baptist Hospital told me that I had a lung disease called sarcoidosis. And sarcoidosis is a lung disease that has, they don't know what causes it, so they don't know how to fix it. And at that point, they told me that the way my body was deteriorating, that I had 6 months. That's it, 6 months to live. And I lost 30 pounds in 7 days. Yeah. And I'm still trying to bounce back from that now. But, so in 2006, they gave me 6 months. So I'm laying there in bed one day, and I've always done music. And I'm laying in bed one day, and I'm praying. And I'm like, God, what you want me to do? And he told me, just as plain as I'm talking to you, he said, get up, go to school. So obedience is better than sacrifice. Got up, came to CVCC. Didn't know what I was gonna take at first, but on the way here, I was like, you know what? I can do everything musically except make a CD cover. And I'm cheap. I'm not gonna pay somebody to do something that I think I can do. So I ended up going into graphic design program. And it definitely was a life-changing experience. CVCC is one of the best colleges to me for the individual, no matter what the age, because the support system is here. It's really hard to fail at CVCC because there are so many opportunities to get help from that are free. You know, all you have to do is ask. And so I graduated CVCC 2011, and I opened my company, Elect Graphics and Photography. And I'm a freelance graphic designer and photography now. And I mean, I still come back to CVCC. I'm on the alumni board. I still come back to help, talk to the youth. A couple of people that I know that I graduated with are now on the staff at CVCC. Still visit them, still come back and look at their students' work, critique it. And I try to be hands-on with as much as possible at CVCC. I had good leadership when I was here. I mean, I had Dr. Henshaw, I had Mary Miller, she retired now, I had Steve Hunt. So many people, that impacted my life, not just as a student, but as a young man, And I think that's the difference with CVCC and so many other colleges. People really care about you as the individual and not just you as the tuition ticket. Sometimes what you may see as a negative is really meant as a blessing. Because had I never gotten sick, and I will say that the VA takes very good care of me. Had God never allowed me to get sick, I wouldn't be in the position that I am now. And I'm in the best position of my life I've ever been. So don't look at the negative side of life so much. Surround yourself with positive people. That's what I do daily. A lot of people didn't make it out of whatever situation, whatever war, whatever thing that was going through that were veterans, And so many veterans still suffer, like I say, the after effects, So I try to, it's joyous but it's somber at the same time, if that makes sense. You just, I say never forget those that paved the way. A lot of people take things for granted, like they could always do this, or since they've been born, they've been able to do this, or nobody ever thanks the people that died so that they could have that privilege to do that, So I always think about that Veterans Day, and that's pretty much it.